The following program is rated M for a mature audience. It contains coarse language.
Good morning. Welcome to The Outsiders, Australia's most politically incorrect news and current affairs show.
Hello, I'm Paul Barry. Welcome to Media Watch. And goodbye to Mark Latham, who's been sacked by Sky as host of Outsiders, which did not go to air this weekend. The former Labor leader got fired for doing what the network hired him to do. But it's no surprise it's ended this way, because he's long delighted in giving offence.
What's wrong with a bit of unfiltered conversation and the word fuck and I mean, they're on the front page of the Australian, so they've been legitimised. So let's get right into it. Fuck, poo, bum.
That flame-out at the Melbourne Writers' Festival in 2015 came 8 months before Sky News took him on as a panellist, and it was not their only warning. Days earlier, BuzzFeed had revealed that Twitter's real Mark Latham was indeed him, and not some foul-mouthed parody, whereupon Latham had tweeted,
"Hey, BuzzFed arsewipe. Hey, BuzzFed fuckface. Hey, BuzzFed dipstick. Hey, BuzzFed Sherlock. I'm actually the Bucks Night porno man, rooting a two-headed donkey while sending out this tweeter crap."
Latham had been using his Twitter account to attack Australian of the Year Rosie Batty and Australian of the Year finalist Kate McGregor, with tweets like this.
"When you were wearing a nappy asking to suckle middle-aged women, you looked like a he, she. Or was that a different person?"
Latham's abuse of these two women, and of Fairfax's Lisa Pryor, cost him his job as a columnist at the Australian Financial Review, then saw him rejected by The Age, before he got a short run on The Verdict until Channel 9 dumped the show. So Sky knew what it was buying when it hired Latham last April, and he certainly delivered. Starting with this attack on fellow Sky presenter Peter Van Onselen 2 weeks ago.
PVO, give me a ring, mate. Pick up the phone and give me a ring. I am an expert in how to attack people. And for you, on Harmony Day, I'll even give you the best advice on attacking me.
That same day, he sideswiped Van Onselen's co-host and ex-New South Wales Premier, Christina Keneally.
My second point is that PVO, you need to take better advice. Don't listen to that Yankee Sheila sitting next to you. She ran the most corrupt government in the history of New South Wales, a protege of Eddie Obeid. It was a dreadful government.
Keneally filed a complaint with Sky's bosses and threatened to sue. But Latham was undeterred and a week later was turning his scorn on the ABC's Wendy Harmer, who had a long and successful career at Today FM.
She's a proven commercial failure, so naturally she got a job at ABC Radio at the sheltered workshop there for all the lefties. She got that job because she fits the criteria. She's female, she's got a disability. That's what they mean by diversity.
Harmer too threatened to sue. But the last straw was the belated revelation that he had called this bunch of boys from Sydney Boys High dickheads, and one of them gay, for making a widely shared video in support of International Women's Day. Justifying his sacking, Sky News boss Angelo Frangopoulos tweeted,
"While we support strong opinions and robust arguments, we pride ourselves in doing so in a civil and respectful manner."
But as Sky well knew, civil and respectful were never Latham's style. Which makes the network even more culpable for not keeping him on the leash. Sky courted disaster by putting the programme out live and put a young, inexperienced producer in charge. And according to Latham, Sky just loved the job he was doing.
Sky execs gave Outsiders every encouragement, always urging us on. Love ratings, so thanks for everything. Up to point of throwing under bus.
Those who watched Outsiders, 30,000 people and falling, loved its crazy no-holds-barred approach. But the network will now have to recast the show and has been forced to make humiliating apologies to both Harmer and Keneally on Latham's behalf.
Sky News acknowledges that it broadcast certain statements by Mark Latham about Christina Keneally. Sky News acknowledges that these statements falsely imputed that Ms Keneally acted corruptly in her former role as Premier of New South Wales. Sky News rejects these comments in their entirety and apologises unreservedly.
Latham, meanwhile, has learnt nothing, blaming the bigoted left, identity fascism, cultural Marxism and political correctness for his demise, and promising he'll be back.
Outsiders already fielding offers of new platforms to continue important work, free from those who cave into pathetic PC outrage industry.
I'd like to say we wish him luck, but he was offensive, abusive and a bully, and we don't. But now, to science news and the miracle pill that the media tell us is going to turn back time.
This is a big one. Australian scientists have developed a drug which could literally slow down the process of ageing.
Get out of town. Well, the research could add years to the life of humans and create generations who are fitter, faster and more energetic than ever before.
Yes, that's right. Australian researchers at the University of New South Wales have developed a drug to make us all young again.
A Sydney scientist has helped develop what's being called a miracle anti-ageing pill, which could increase our life expectancy by 20%.
And it wasn't just the TV bulletins who got super excited about this amazing new elixir of youth. The headline writers also had a field day.
Revolutionary anti-ageing drug makes you look younger and live longer.
The vitamin that reverses ageing could make a trip to Mars a reality.
Pill to reverse ageing just 3 years away.
Yes, that's less than 1,200 days till I start getting younger. So, has the pill been tested on humans? And is there a group of grannies out there already turning back the clock? Well, no, not exactly.
When tested on mice, the therapy increased lifespan by 20%.
Yes, it's only been tested on mice. And while it seems to work on them, and has NASA interested, there is no guarantee it'll work on us. As Monash University's Professor Ken Harvey told MediaWatch,
Mice are not men, and many findings on mice are not replicated in human trials. Thus, the estimate that a safe and effective anti-ageing drug that's perhaps only 3 to 5 years away from being on the market, if the trials go well, is overly optimistic.
And that could be putting it mildly. But it's also not the only concern, because the two scientists waxing lyrical about it, Professor David Sinclair and Dr. Lindsay Wu, have a commercial interest in talking it up.
The scientists behind the pill are so convinced it's a winner, they're already on it.
As Dr. Justin Coleman of Griffith University's School of Medicine told MediaWatch,
Sinclair and Wu co-founded the company that hopes to sell the drug. They have every reason to talk up the drug and promote breakthrough headlines.
And there is another thing. I think we've heard about this miracle pill before. Several times in the past 4 years, in fact, with not quite the same drug, but very similar promises.
Scientists find way to make ageing clocks stop ticking.
Pills that prevent ageing.
Anti-ageing compound set for human trials after turning clock back for mice.
And back in 2012, Professor Sinclair told Catalyst's Dr. Marianne de Macy the miracle pill might be just a few years away.
There's a long way to go and clinical trials are tough for any drug. But I'm really optimistic that it'll happen, certainly within my lifetime and maybe just in the next few years.
So, a few years later, here we are, with a few more years to wait. Dr. Wu tells MediaWatch that human trials on this newer miracle pill should begin in the US later this year. But they won't be testing whether the pill actually works.
These trials are purely to determine whether the compound is safe and whether they result in an increase in levels of a substance called NAD+ in patients, not to determine whether they work to treat a disease.
Finding out if it can reverse ageing in humans, and who knows, it may, is going to take a whole lot longer. So, who is to blame for all this excitable media coverage? Well, some of it must go to this press release from the University of New South Wales, which trumpeted,
UNSW Harvard scientists unveil a giant leap for anti-ageing.
But journalists don't have to accept such claims at face value, even if, like us, they don't understand the science. They need to seek comment from an independent expert. Yet hardly anyone bothered to do that. Which is why Professor Harvey tells MediaWatch,
It's yet another case study on how university researchers, their public relations people and journalists can uncritically overhype research findings.
Sure, a drug that stops ageing is a great story, the holy grail of medicine. But in Dr. Justin Coleman's opinion, there is no evidence yet that this is it.
It is one of thousands of chemicals over the years which have been touted as being anti-ageing, virtually all of which have so far failed, usually soon after the first few mouse experiments.
And in the meantime, even Dr. Lindsay Wu, one of the scientists behind the drug, counsels there is a more reliable, but less miraculous way to stay young.
Exercise, a varied and moderate diet, maintaining social contact and avoiding stress have profound health benefits, beyond anything that will ever be available in a pill.
But now, to life at the other end of the scale. And shocking news from Channel 9.
A Sydney childcare centre contaminated with meth. Our most precious little ones exposed to the most dangerous drug.
Can you imagine toddlers on ice? And as Nine's 6 o'clock news made clear, it had just been discovered.
A toxic meth lab has been uncovered right next to a Sydney childcare centre. It exposed young children to a most dangerous drug. And just as frightening, police are finding sophisticated laboratories just about anywhere. And there could even be one near you.
Sky News also bought into this terrifying tale. But as Nine proudly told us with its watermark, we were hearing it first on Nine. Except that we weren't. Because the raid they were referring to actually happened in July 2012.
Police raid an alleged drug lab in Sydney's suburban Liverpool where family, including 12-month-old, lived.
And if you did hear it first on Nine, that must have been in this old story almost 5 years ago.
Shocked police officers discovered a 1-year-old baby at home when they raided an alleged drug lab in Liverpool.
So, has it been raided again? No. The owner of the childcare centre told us it was cleaned up and it's been open ever since. Something Nine and Sky failed to mention, and which only emerged when a local journalist couldn't believe she'd been scooped in her own backyard.
First on Nine occurred 5 years earlier. A New South Wales police spokeswoman responded saying the Nine News report was a little misleading on the timing.
Just a little. So, how could that have happened? The cops told Media Watch they made the facts perfectly clear.
The clandestine lab was located as part of an investigation almost 5 years ago. This was the information we provided to the producer.
And what about the footage that police also supplied?
But in the worst cases, homes have had to be bulldozed.
Yep, that was old too, as the police also made clear, because it was from a different raid on a different lab in a different suburb on a different network, the ABC, in 2014.
These drugs were being produced in filthy conditions.
So why did Nine cheat their viewers and pass off an old story as new? They wouldn't say, but they told us they were trying to help the child centre in a battle with its insurance company, and added,
We work with New South Wales Police on many stories of significant public interest, and this is one of those.
And maybe it is, but you still don't have to mislead your viewers. And finally, to the shock and awe of Cyclone Debbie, which the media brought us live, round the clock, into the safety of our lounge rooms.
It got pretty dangerous out on the just around the corner from where we were staying at our motel. So, look, we grabbed that gear and we trudged back to about 20 metres to where we're staying, and we're here now. And I can tell you, it's safe as we've got our Category 5 building right here.
Seven's Paul Burt was one of many TV reporters who stood for long hours in the rain and wind to showcase Debbie's fury, as was Nine's Darren Curtis, who had the same stay safe message for viewers.
We're in a nice protected spot, I must say that. A good secure spot. We're not being foolhardy in what we're doing here at the moment.
And even Koshi, who's covered Cyclone Yasi and Larry, had his back to the wall.
There's no way I'm heading out there again, and Wilco, my cameraman, you're moving back as well. You're getting a bit far out of it because we're starting to get some really nasty stuff flying through the air.
But armchair critics on social media were still happy to take pot shots at what they saw as media hypocrisy and stupidity.
How long till there's a reporter standing outside in a cyclone, telling people to stay inside, hit by projectile trampoline?
Reporters who are outside while telling people to stay inside, fuckwits.
Well, we agree you shouldn't be outside in a cyclone doing stuff like this.
Oh my God, there's someone with a boogie board going out in the ocean, it would seem, so that's obviously not a good idea.
But we think the media did a great job covering Debbie, bringing us some dramatic and incredible footage.
The power of this thing, it is unbelievable.
And if you really think they should all be inside, as many ABC reporters were, take a look at these two on-the-spot reports from Josh Bavis.
The front door is rattling. It's like someone's shaking it, trying to get in. Now, we haven't seen any debris moving through Bowen yet, but it's safe to say that it's not far off.
Which one of those gives you more idea of the power of that storm? It's really no contest. But while journalism is never risk-free, we are relieved that no one covering Debbie tried anything as crazy as this sopping stand-up from Seven's Peter Doherty in the 2010 Queensland floods.
For the next couple of days, this is the only way around many parts of town as Emerald waits for the water to slowly go down.
And you can read more about tonight's stories on our Facebook page or our website, where you can get a transcript, download the program and read a statement from the University of New South Wales and scientist Dr Lindsay Wu. You can also catch up with us on iView and contact me or Media Watch on Twitter. And don't miss Media Bites every Thursday on Facebook, Twitter and our website, and also on iView. But for now, until next week, that's all from us. Goodbye.